Welcome everyone to level 2 of Nymja Shipyard. I hope you had a blast with the exam last week. I hope it wasn't too difficult. I hope everybody who tried could do well. Basically, just a bit of context on what's going on this week. We're of course kicking off level 2, and that means that from the big picture stuff of level 1, we're now jumping into the nitty gritty. So level 2 is going to be where you're becoming a NIM pro, starting with a deep dive into NIM's token economic model, which is an important part of defeating mass surveillance with mass privacy. Today I have with me NIM community OG and contributor Huxian, but this time not as a co-host, but as a presenter. How's it going, Hux?
And hey everyone, it's going great. Looking forward to tell you more about NIM Tokenomics.
Good to have you. Can't wait for your presentation. And I also have with me Clemence, who's my co-host for this event. Say hi to the people, Clemence.
Hello everyone. Hi.
Hey, how's it going? All right, and I'm Sudo, of course, aka Simon, NIM head of community. And we're ready to kick off. And of course, during the presentation, as always, you can ask your questions in the NIM YouTube chat and also on the Twitch chat. We're keeping a close eye on that. And if you want to ask your questions anonymously, then you can go to the NIM Matrix server. Please drop a link to that, one of our lovely CMs in the chat. And you can also ask your questions there. We're also keeping an eye there if you have any questions for Hux throughout the presentation. But before we hand over the mic to Hux for the presentation, let's also summarize what's going on in the first week of level 2. So Clemence, take it away.
So today is the first masterclass of level 2. Now that you guys are NIMsters, welcome to the path of becoming a cadet, going from having an overview of what is privacy and how is it relevant in the digital age to being part of the action and decentralized network. So we have 2 weeks ahead of us before the next exam. Translating subtitles for master classes on time proved to be difficult, so we are making some changes. High quality English subtitles will be added soon after lectures, and translated subtitles will only be added after Shipyard for the permanent academy. However, you can prepare for the exam in any language based on the translated slide decks and the reading list shared on the Shipyard announcement Discord channel. As for exam 1, the leaderboard with your results and rewards will be released later today. Keep a close eyes on your channels. If you earn rewards, you will receive claiming instructions tomorrow by email. Important, please note, some participants did not complete the full registration process. So you won't be able to, we will not be able to reward these participants because we don't have their email addresses. We decided to make an exception and allow them to complete the registration late. They will be highlighted in the leaderboard. If you are one of them, you have until this Friday, 27th of October to provide your email address and complete the registration. Keep a close eye on the channels for more information. Then Thursday, 26th of October, we will be having the second level 2 masterclass at 4 p.m. CET. It will be about the NIM network deep dive and running exit notes with our NIM DevRel Serenko and Ponflake, the NIM community OG and core contributor. On the 27th at 4 p.m. CET, we'll have an AMA with Serenko, Ponflake, and Hux. And right after, at 5 p.m., we'll have a community update on squads with Huxian and Sudo.
Exactly.
So let's, yeah.
So now, as usual, we're going to be asking a warm-up question from our dear guest here. We'll wait for more people to join the event, and also just to give some context to the whole talk. So I thought quite a bit about what to ask you, Hux. Here's my question to you. So as a core community contributor, you've done some research for NIM, and one of your first projects was around UX, and that also included token UX, which basically brings you here, I guess, to give this masterclass. So I was wondering what token UX is. Can you please explain to people how token UX functions and what it is, what it means?
Yeah, thanks for that question. So UX is an abbreviation for user experience, and I've been working a lot around creating, human-centered services and designing human-centered products, digital products in the past, 15 years. So it's something that I hold really dearly close to my heart, because I think that any good product or service is first and foremost created in a way that ultimately makes it easy to people to use it and, creates a good experience. And that's how you call it user experience. And yes, so the first project that I've done for NIM as a contributor was around mapping a lot of the user journeys, which are the routes that different people take when interact with different parts of the NIM ecosystem. And the first kind of big, outcome of that was that the token experience, which means that how people can interact with the token, is really difficult and has lots of steps. So since then, we've been working on making it easier for people to use the token, making easier to people to access the information about how the token works and what can they do with it. And today, I'm also going to be giving a bit of overview from the token experience point of view related to token economics. So this is not all. I just don't want to spoil my own presentation, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's not do that. But we did have another question in the chat already for you, which I need to ask. Wait a second. Yeah, so basically someone is asking that you look tired or upset. How are you? Are you fine? What's going on?
Thanks for that very kind question. Actually, I have like a terrible back pain, which I cannot really close out totally. So whatever I'm doing, sitting, standing, running, stretching, I have this back pain since like a week now. But thanks for noticing. I'm not angry. I'm just a bit bit under duress with my back. But I hope I'm not gonna.
It's just old, guys. Don't worry.
Time goes forward. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, without further ado, I think we're just gonna give you the stage and take it away. Salazar, can you please present the slide deck?
Yeah, so this talk is about how the NIM token and the NIM tokenomics incentivizes privacy. And it's going to be a high-level overview of the whole NIM token economic system. Next slide, please. So yeah, my name is Huxian from Pineapple Hive. Just a short bio of mine. I have an engineering bachelor degree, an economist MA, and currently I'm doing a PhD in interdisciplinary social sciences, researching digital trust and anonymity, which is a big part of that, what I gained from working with the great folks at NIM in the past year. Next slide, please. Yeah, so let's have a look at what the token economic basics are. Next slide. And what I decided to do is to sort of cut this very complex topic up to 3 different point of views or 3 different aspects. We're going to be talking about the utilities of the NIM token. We're going to be talking about the tokens technology, which is kind of the blockchain stuff. And we're going to be going over the things that Sudo has been asking before I started this presentation, the token experience, which is how people relate, use, and access the token itself. Let's go. Next slide. Yeah, so token utilities, it's just the same 3 thing again, but what we call utilities is basically NIM being utility token is the most important aspect of the NIM token and tokenomics, that it enables users to do different things with it. It has certain distinct utilities which are quite useful. What we mean under token technology, it's there is the blockchain part and the underlying technology part of the NIM token ecosystem, where you might have learned already that the mixnet is not a blockchain itself, but it is powered by one called Nix, what's also the native home of the NIM token. And the third part is going to be about the experience part that I talked enough already about. So let's just go forward. Ooh. Yeah, so what are the utilities of NIM? Next slide. I think the first one is not that big of a surprise for everyone or anyone who's been listening on level 1. Basically, the main utility of the NIM token, that it provides access to the mixnet, so people or anyone browsing the internet can enjoy actual privacy online. It's basically, this is the main deal. This is why it's called utility token, and how people sort of interact or how people can access the NIM mixnet through the NIM token is that they can pay with any major cryptocurrency or fiat, which are converted to NIM, and that NIM is used to track bandwidth usage over the mixnet. There's an important note here to make, that currently the mixnet is free to use, which enables developers to experiment and develop freely on the mixnet. But the first commercial application, what many of you might have already heard about, is going to be the NIM VPN, launching in early 2024, with the closed beta testing starting already this year with the early birds and the core community members of NIM, and also the top shipyard graduates. So why is this important? Because basically when the first commercial application goes live, the NIM VPN, this will drive a constant money inflow or value inflow to the whole NIM token ecosystem, which ensures a sustainable demand for the NIM tokens. Next slide, please. Yeah, the second and also super important utility of NIM, that anyone can delegate NIMs to mix nodes and get rewarded for securing the mixnet. Now, this way, the NIM token is also acting as a sort of reputation tracker, because basically staking is super important from a security perspective. That's how the NIMs, the mixnet security is ensured, that mix node operators need to compete for NIM delegated to their mix nodes, which basically does two things. So the more delegations a mix node attracts, the higher chance will be to be included in the active set of nodes that make up the mixnet in each epoch. Now, one epoch equals 1 hour, and then it's randomized again based on the staked NIMs on the mix nodes. And there is a maximum target calculated based on the amount of NIM in circulation. We're going to be talking a bit more about that in the following section. But this is called the stake saturation point. And this is kind of the target that the mix node needs to attract to have the highest chance of being included in the active set, and also to earn the highest rewards. It's currently around almost 960,000 NIMs, which is quite a big number. And above this amount, rewards will decrease. And basically, this is a very ingenious way to incentivize high quality node operation, but also to incentivize decentralization of the mixnet at the very same time. So this is one of the fundamental elements of the NIM token economics. And also one thing I forgot to mention, that if it's also worth for any users to stake any amount of NIM to mixed nodes, because currently there's an average APY between 16 and 20% on NIM delegated to mixed nodes. So it's basically, with a very simple action, anyone can help secure the mixnet by choosing mixed nodes which they like and increasing the reputation of those mixed nodes, and also earn rewards for doing so. And this is kind of the heart at defeating the surveillance economics model, because this is a direct way to incentivize privacy and quality privacy mixnet being operated by mixed nodes. Next slide, please. All right, there's two other things what you can do with the token, or what anyone can do with the token, basically. The NIM token is also used to spin up your own mixed nodes. It's called bonding. And basically, this makes the whole mixnet not just decentralized, but also permissionless. So anyone who is thinking about running their own mixed node or starting a mixed node operating business can do so without asking permission from anyone, by just bonding a minimum amount of 100 NIMs when launching a mixed node. Bonding 100 NIMs is super important from a perspective that if there's no minimum amount required to start up nodes, there's there can be malicious actors spinning up, multiple nodes which are working fraudulently or which might be spying on the traffic, which is also super hard, by the way. So it's almost impossible to spy on mixed-net traffic, what you're going to learn from Serinko in the next masterclass, I'm sure. But bonding is also kind of a spam protection, so it makes sure that it costs money to start mixed nodes, and the more you bond, maybe the more serious people take your mixed node, and the more delegations can you attract just by the bigger amount of bonded NIMs. Now, the fourth utility of NIM is that basically it also keeps the underlying Nix chain running or oiled, because validators, the block validators of the Nix chain, are also rewarded in NIM to sign each block and validate those transactions inside each block. Basically, if someone familiar with Web3 terms, this is called the gas. So the Nix chain's gas is also paid in NIM. And the transaction fees are, of course, as it is a Cosmos-based blockchain, are super, super low. I also put an estimation there. It's a fraction of a cent of a dollar at current price to do any transactions on the Nix chain, which means, of course, it includes delegating, staking, and just transferring NIM tokens. Thank you. Next slide. Now, a bit more about the blockchain part and the token technology. Next slide. Yes, so the NIM's blockchain is called Nix, and I think what I most like, or why I'm super excited still about what NIM is building, is that NIM finally provides a real life use case for blockchain transaction technology being used in real life. So since there's a real life demand for privacy online, a project that provides privacy through utilizing an underlying blockchain, that's finally a use case for the entire Web3 technology stack that I think is groundbreaking, and in a sense gives me a lot of hope that it's not just a tech bubble, but there are actually use cases such as what NIM is building. So the NIM Mixnet has its own layer 1 blockchain based on the Cosmos SDK, and how to imagine this is basically this blockchain is the job of this blockchain is to take care of everything related to accounting. So every transaction or every action that happens on the Mixnet, which can be staking, NIM send, and bondings or rewards being paid to Mixnet operators, those are all being validated on the Nix blockchain. And it's a proof of stake consensus mechanism, which means that there are no miners, no block miners. All the NIM tokens have been pre-minted at the genesis of the Nix chain in early 2022 and have been distributed according to this pie chart here on the left-hand side. It's super important to note here that what NIM is building is a truly revolutionary and visionary piece of technology which haven't ever been done before. So this is why early supporters of the project were sort of incentivized with a higher percentage of these pre-minted tokens, because those who believed that in this project before it even existed, those really put their skin in the game. And now NIM has a fixed supply of 1 billion tokens, but not all of these are in circulation yet. There are different vesting instruments that are releasing new amounts of tokens since the genesis of the chain. What does this mean? Vesting means it's basically a delayed release of these tokens. And there's a vesting schedule, what sort of defines when these release is going to happen. And there are a number of blog posts on this on the NIM Tech Medium site. So check it out if you're interested in this in details. Also, due to this, the NIM team releases quarterly tokenomics updates as more tokens enter into circulation. This is really necessary as the increased liquidity results in a change of the staking parameters. So the more native NIMs are in circulation, the higher stake saturation the nodes sort of need to attract. And this is also, I think this is also very brilliant, because without this, if more tokens would be there on chain, it would be just sort of it would get easier and easier to spin up high quality nodes, which is definitely not the case if we imagine a competitive landscape. And I think this is but also makes the mixnet magic work, that these parameters are being updated, and it's very cleverly modeled and calculated what's the right state saturation point for a certain period of time with a certain amount of NIM in circulation. Now, one thing to mention here, which is also important, that NIM also has a version of its native token running on the Ethereum chain, which we call ERC20 NIMs. It's easy to sort of swap between the two versions of the NIM token if you know how to use Web3 tools. You can use the permissionless gravity bridge to bridge from ERC to NIX and the other way around. Now, I'm aware that using Web3 tools are not always the easiest, and it might need some practice to get this right and to get sort of very fluent in this. But I have some good news, which we've been already hinting at before in certain meetings, how the team wants to help those who are not super comfortable with swapping between the ERC and the NIX chain. Now, why there are ERC20 tokens? Why do we need to have Ethereum tokens? Because Ethereum is the biggest Web3 ecosystem, and many exchanges somewhat only serve ERC20 tokens, and it's basically a way to make the NIM token even more accessible for anyone. So whereas the native NIM token can be bought, I think currently listed on two exchanges currently, all of the other exchanges are listing the ERC20 version of the token, which basically just enables that a lot of other people can access the NIM token who wants to, maybe buy for staking them or starting their own nodes. So this is a matter of accessibility. Next slide, please. All right. Two sides and the NIM coin. That's a confusing it's a funny title that I gave into this slide. Okay, so the mixnet is a decentralized network of mixed nodes. NIX is the blockchain with a currently permission validator set, and NIM is the token that basically makes these two work together and makes the magic happen. I wanted to come up with a metaphor for those who are new to the Web3 stack and to this whole world, that how to imagine a mixnet and a NIX chain and a NIM token working together. And what I came up with is that if you're imagining that you're in the train station of the future internet, the mixnet is basically the train, which creates the real life value for humanity, digital freedom, and integrity through privacy. But as more people get on this train, the better actual privacy it will provide through a growing anonymity set. This is also what we've learned in level 1 lectures. But every train needs a pair of tracks to run on, and this is basically what the NIX blockchain does. It's the underlying coordination layer for the mixnet, enabling the train to provide the service it provides. And how to picture the NIM token in this, I think, is the third and most important piece of this puzzle, because the NIM token is both the ticket for the train and also the electricity that's powering everything. Now, and this is the reason, because there's a mixnet and also a blockchain, that there are two kind of different explorers what people can use to explore both networks. You can see two links for the mixnet explorers, the explorer.nimtech.net and also the mixnet.explorers.guru. And also that's for the mixnet to browse mixed nodes, to find the right mixed nodes to delegate to see how the nodes are saturated, to see what profit margin they operate with. Whereas the NIX blockchain explorers are what's showing the blockchain transactions when someone decides to transfer NIM or to delegate NIM or to claim rewards from delegation. Then this is where these transactions actually can be visited. And there's a number of Cosmos ecosystem explorers what anyone can use to check for transactions inside the NIX chain. Next slide, please. Okay, so now we established that all the actors and all the big parts of the NIM token economics. So what I would like to go through with on the next slide, please, would be how the NIM token flows with the new VPN in place. So basically on the left-hand side, you can see the NIM VPN and Mixnet users sort of pay either in fiat or any major crypto for their bandwidth, which then get translated to NIM tokens. And that's what they use to pay to use the Mixnet with. And this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because when the VPN will be functioning, there's a fair usage limit of a VPN subscription per month. Now, so everything basically, that's the maximum amount of bandwidth that a VPN subscriber will have to spend using the Mixnet. And basically the used part, so whatever a user actually uses on the Mixnet through the NIM VPN, will be split to 3 parts. The majority of the fees will go to Mixnode operators as they operate the service itself. And 2 smaller chunks will go to the Nix validators who are running the underlying blockchain, making sure that all the transactions happened correctly, and also to the company itself. And there's another little line coming from the Mixnet horizontally upwards, which are the unused bandwidth fees. Basically, it's going to go into this super cool instrument called the Mix Mining Pool. Now, the Mix Mining Pool, it has been in operation since the Mixnet went live, and it's basically a bootstrapping device which enabled Mixnode operators to get rewarded for running high-quality mix nodes, even though no one really paid for using the Mixnet. So this is what you can also see a big chunk of the NIM tokens actually going to the Mix Mining Pool. Again, think of this as a bootstrapping device for sort of spinning up a super high quality Mixnet before the first commercial applications can actually build on top of this. And the Mixnode operators have been incentivized from this Mix Mining Pool and will be incentivized from the Mix Mining Pool in the future too. But there's a caveat to this, that for all the unused bandwidth, also it's going to feed this Mix Mining Pool, sort of creating a spiraling effect and sort of making it work even nicer. Now, if you have a look, I'm not sure if my mouse is not visible, I guess, but what I want to show now is how basically through delegating NIM to mixed nodes, the delegators also receive a proportional amount of the mixed node operator rewards. And that's what you can see on the top right corner of this chart. So basically anyone can delegate NIM to the mixed nodes, and in return, they receive rewards from the fees that the mixed node operators receive and from the Mix Mining Pool rewards too. And the last part of this chart is just showing that anyone who's interacting with the underlying blockchain are, of course, also paying fees in NIM, which are super small, as we established before. Next slide, please. And now the third section, I'm going to be talking about a bit the token experience, which I think is kind of, I left it the last part because I think this is what's the most relatable. This is the least abstract way of how we interact with the NIM token. Next slide, please. And another nice chart from me, but I promise it's not going to be that abstract. So basically, if anyone ever played any video games, you remember maps or skill trees or sort of roadmaps, everybody starts without having any NIM tokens, and there's 3 routes to take, but we're going to go through the main route to begin with. So the first thing how users interact with the token is that they learn about NIM. You can read the token economics paper, which has a ton of more details compared to what I'm summarizing right now. And that's sort of gaining the knowledge about the token economics part. And the tool that people need to use to make transactions, delegate to mixed nodes, is the NIM wallet. So the next step is to download the NIM wallet. And once you learned about the token and have a wallet in place, you can go on and acquire NIMs. Now, this is where it gets tricky, what I've mentioned before, that there's two different types of NIM tokens what you can acquire. The simplest, the easiest way to do so is already there's a function in the NIM wallet where you can just swap Bitcoin for native NIMs. And that's the easiest way to acquire native NIM tokens. And also, if you have an account at exchanges which list native NIM tokens, is similarly simple. But for those who only have accounts on exchanges supporting ERC20 NIMs, or who want to swap maybe a Uniswap, those users will need to actually do one more step and bridge their ERC20 tokens to NIX via the Gravity bridge. And once these native NIMs arrive in your NIM wallet, that's when you can actually start interacting and using the utilities of the NIM token. And these are the three utilities what we already covered in the beginning of this presentation. You can simply pay with NIM to use the NIM VPN. You can delegate your NIM to mixed nodes, and you can also use the NIM wallet to start your own mixed node by bonding NIM directly from the wallet. And I'm aware that this might be a bit frightening and might be a bit too complex for those who are new to the Web3 ecosystem and all these terminologies. But don't worry, we got you covered, because we're going to be having a very hands-on workshop next Friday, when basically what the plan is that we're going to go through all these steps in a live session from zero to hero, where to learn about the NIM token, how to download the wallet, how to bridge these tokens, and what you can do from inside your wallet too. And this is how the token experience works today. But this is also, I mean, it's a lot better than in some other projects cases, and it is already very kind of streamlined. But being aware that user experience can never be good enough, there's a number of very cool changes coming and very good, very interesting developments coming that's going to make even easier to use the NIM token and to interact with the NIM network. I'm just looking at a lot of questions in the meantime. Yes. Okay, next slide, please. Now, for this is kind of so whoever is interested in delegating, I made a slide to summarize the main steps or the main advices here. So what I mentioned before, you can only delegate native NIM tokens, and you can only delegate currently from your NIM wallet. But once you have this in place and you passed all these steps as seen in the previous slide, you need to open the Mixnet Explorer to find the right node to delegate to. And this is where the whole part of how delegated NIMs equal reputation of nodes come into play, because anyone's free to choose any nodes that they like. And just a hint for those who are new to this, if you look for a high saturation mixed node, which is close to 100%, but not over 100%, at someone who's operating a mixed node with low profit margin, that's basically the starting point and your best guess and your best bet of already starting earning rewards from the moment you delegated your NIM tokens to these mixed nodes. And after this, you only need to define the amount that you like to delegate and basically sign the transaction inside your wallet. And boom, you're already a delegator helping to secure the mixnet. Next slide, please. Yeah, so what I mentioned earlier, that how the team is working and what are being developed in the background to make the token experience even nicer and smoother for everyone. Basically, the big breakthrough idea is that there's currently you need to use at least separately a wallet and the Mixnet Explorer to sort of delegate and to find what nodes you want to delegate to. And also, it's not possible to use any currently existing Cosmos wallets. But in the near future, hopefully what's going to happen is that basically only need and interact with the NIM Mixnet Explorer and use a Kepler web wallet integration directly in the NIM Explorer, which enables you to delegate without having to even download the NIM wallet. Now, for those who want to spin up their own nodes, of course, that's only going to be possible from the NIM desktop wallet, but that's a much smaller percentage of people than all those who are currently staking their NIM nodes. There's also going to be a inbuilt token swap feature coming, which will simplify the current bridging process from ERC20 to the Nix chain, which happens currently with this permissionless bridging tool. It's going to be also like a 3-click swap, also potentially working between 2 already existing web wallets that you need to click swap, and it's going to arrive in your native NIM wallet. And the other thing, which I'm also really excited about, is that we're aware how difficult it might be to select the right mix node. So I think what's also coming in a way that a 3-click delegation with recommended mix nodes, where there's going to be highlighted mix nodes recommended for you, what you can choose from, and delegate a lot easier than having to figure it out all by yourself what nodes to delegate to. And on this note, there's also a community developed tool called Explore NIM, what you can also use to support you with finding the right nodes for delegation. And I think this might be mentioned, this will be mentioned in the next masterclass session too. Next slide, please. Okay, before this, I see a question here, and I would like to answer this question because I might have jumped over something during my presentation. So, what's the difference between the NIM Mixnet and the Tor network? So the big difference is that anyone can spin up any new Tor nodes, regardless of their quality, of their intentions, or basically without any knowledge of who's operating those Tor nodes. Now, what NIM is doing a lot better, or what's a lot more exciting, is that the blockchain and the token economics work as a selection mechanism for the directory of nodes. So basically, without the blockchain, anyone could start any amount of nodes, and we would have no idea about how well they operate, how long they've been operating since, and how many other people trust those nodes. Now, with the NIM token and the blockchain behind it, and sort of the whole staking mechanism, this is what enables us to run a transparent directory of nodes highlighting the reputation. You can go on the Mixnet Explorer right now and see different nodes and see how many different people stake NIMs to those nodes, which sort of also shows how many people trust those nodes and how many people trust some other nodes maybe. So this is a economic way, or this is a way to prevent manager sectors, to prevent weird things happening, because it's not only transparent, but it's also a directory which is available to everyone at any time. I hope I answered the question, what I saw popping up somewhere. Yes. Okay, next slide, and then I see a ton of questions, so I'm distracted with that. But a tiny announcement today is that since NIM is a utility token and it's not a speculative financial instrument, there's no price talk allowed in the official channels of NIM. But I'm happy to announce that I'm starting today a Telegram group called NIM Mana Hands, which is going to be a discussion group for serious holders, where we won't have GM, and Van Moon like spamming, but we try to have real conversations about price movements for serious holders. And there's also, I do have a frequent line to the core team working together on several tracks, so we can sort of ask also questions. I hopefully gonna be able to also spread some occasional alpha information, and there's a link for anyone who wants to join. It's starting now, so there's not much activity currently, but hopefully as the bull market starts, we're gonna have a lot of fun over that group. Next slide, please. I think that was it. The NIM must flow. I really like this Dune meme. And yeah, I hope this was not too detailed and not too high level for my beautiful audience tonight. And super happy to see and answer all these questions which been popping up in the side chat here. Thank you. You can, I think, take off the presentation and let's jump back into the questions. Yes. Can I start with or do you? Yeah.
Yeah, well, great presentation. You really left people hanging with that announcement part. You just got like left them hanging on that slide. That's not a nice move, Hux. Not approved.
It's called marketing.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Good info there. We have quite a few amazing questions. So let me start with a super interesting one. This is from Eric Valle. Thanks for the question. The question goes: I understand that the blockchain is a fundamental part, but the mixnet could work without incentives or blockchain. In that sense, the blockchain could not be the rails. So what do you have to say regarding this?
Yeah, so I think this was the question which distracted me. And super good question. And thanks, Eric, for asking this question. And that's why I tried to answer that basically this is an added privacy feature for the whole mixnet. Without economic incentives, there's absolutely no way of telling what kind of quality of nodes anyone is operating. The mixnet provides, the Nix chain provides a transparent directory for everyone to browse between nodes and sort of to check their reputation based on the staked names. So why I really, as an economist, why I really like the whole blockchain space, because it allows you to create very custom financial incentive systems to incentivize certain things. And most people use this technology to incentivize pyramid schemes being built. But what's super different and valuable about what NIM is building is that a blockchain is finally used as it should be used to incentivize high quality privacy services being provided for the masses. And this is why there is a definite need to have a blockchain running under the mixnet. And there has been previous examples of similar. I mean, the Tor network is it's a great thing, and I don't really want to bash that, but again, it's very hard to decide who's running and what kind of entity with what kind of motives and what kind of finances running your Tor node. So, and this is where it's very different if you look at the mixnet. Did I answer it right?
Beautiful.
Do you want to add to that, Sudo?
Nope, I can't. You're the token expert, way beyond me. So, all right. Next question is by Aravind. Thanks for the question. What is the rule to be an active node in the mixnet? Do we need to be in the testnet for some time, or any other criteria?
Yeah, so there's no need to be in the testnet. Anyone can start a node right now by opening the wallet, having 100 names, and installing it on a VPN server or VPS server. The way to get into the active set is by attracting delegations. The more delegations you attract, the closer you get to the stake saturation point, and the more chances you have to get in the active set. So there's many ways to do this, but one way is certainly being an active member of the community, creating other value than just operating a high quality node. So being visible, telling people your story, who are you, why are you operating this node, and sort of what value you create apart from operating a very high quality node. So there are super good examples already in the community who you can learn from and have a look at how they communicate so how they frame and how they present their mixed node operator business. And I think that's kind of, those examples are the ones to get ideas from. So those examples have many things in common. They all tell, what values they believe in, where they operate the nodes from, and sort of what matters the most and what team is behind maybe those nodes operated in some cases. So this is again adding to some more insights to the question that Eric asked, because this wouldn't be possible without a transparent blockchain registry for all the mixed nodes. So this is only possible, and the only actual merit or hard fact behind these claims, because if there would be no blockchain, anyone could say that, hey, we're super cool guys, we're operating great quality services, and they could just spy on the packets that are going through and sort of steal data in a very simplified way. But this is where the blockchain makes all the difference, because there's a transparent registry. You can see all the delegations. You can see if one node's attracting delegations from many small holders or from big holders. Those all make a difference, and this also makes it really easy for anyone to choose what node they would like to support with their stakes.
Exactly, and very good answer. And what I would like to add here is one of our best examples so far of a group running many mixed nodes, No Trust Verify. Hope someone is watching from No Trust Verify. Hi guys. For example, they also produce. So they have their own little sub community, and they also produce a periodic report, of their node performance, of profitability, that kind of stuff. So first of all, they collect their delegators so that they can speak to them all at the same time, right? They develop their own little community. And also they are very transparent with operation related stuff. So operating a NIM mixed node, and especially delegating to mixed nodes, is a trust-based thing in more ways than one. So by delegating to a mixed node, you also pledge your trust in that mixed node, so that and you basically vouch for it not to be malicious. So this is a trust-based system. And how can we trust each other the most is if we're in the same group, in the same community, and we know each other at least by a username, if not actual face-to-face, like us three over here. All right. Clemence, sorry for asking all the questions here. Do you want to take the next one?
I'm also checking if there is one which I can... Can I pick one, Clemence, while you look for one other?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Sure. Sorry, I wasn't working.
Yeah, so Debelik asking, where can I buy native NIM and skip the moment with the bridge? One sure place to where you can buy native NIM is from inside the NIM wallet. You can just really quickly swap Bitcoin for native NIMs, which arrive directly to your wallet without having to visit any other platforms. If you look for an exchange to purchase native NIMs, Kraken would be the place to start. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I think so. All right, the next one is an interesting one, which I've seen before from the community as well. Not sure if you can answer it, Hux. Let me know. So this one is from O Numbers. Thanks for the question. Fams, I have a question. Will the Nix blockchain have any other project except NIM on it? I mean, what else? What other DApps may we see on it?
I think that the plan is definitely a yes. So I think that the plan is that the Nix chain should and would have further applications being developed on top of this. And I can only quote tell something that I read that Harry posted in the Telegram channel, that he would like to see, for example, a Osmosis kind of DEX running on top of Nix, which is also a new application what already exists in the Cosmos ecosystem, but would create potential lot of value if it would run on the Nix chain. And although currently the Nix chain is not permissionless, which means it has a closed validator set, this doesn't mean that this doesn't necessarily mean that there can be no new applications being developed and launched on top of it. It just means that there's a process of that of what makes that happen. Can I? Yeah, I see a question which I hope I answered during the presentation, but if not, please add NIM official network on Kepler wallet from Tapetelo. So yes, you're hitting the nail on the head, friend, because this is already integrated. You can already store your native NIM tokens inside the Kepler wallet, and the team is working on developing a feature that you can directly delegate to mix nodes from your Kepler wallet. So that wish is coming through very, very soon.
All right, that sounds amazing. Clemence, ready to take the next one?
Yes, so an interesting question. What is the difference between NIM and NIX? Will both be different coins with different market cap, or will link to same market cap? From Samuel.
So those are two different tokens. While the NIX is not a free-floating, readily available token on any exchange, the NIM is. And I think I'm not the right authority for sure to answer these questions, but as far as I'm aware, the plan is that the NIX chain will be depermissioned, and the NIX token will be also a free-floating financial instrument in the future. Next question.
Oh, okay. This is actually a good one. I don't know if you know the answer to this one, Hux. But this is an interesting one. So, how will the cost of NIM usage be determined when NIM USD price significantly rises? I can't remember the answer to this one, so I'm asking you. Maybe you do.
Yeah, if you remember in my flow, thank you for the question. So if you remember my, it's not going to affect the pricing, right? Because basically, I think the pricing will be defined in a way that it's competitive with currently existing VPN products. Basically, the users can pay in fiat or any other crypto for accessing the internet through the mixnet, but that payment's going to be transferred onto the blockchain ecosystem to NIM. So basically, what's going to happen if NIM price rises, that this transaction going to result in fewer NIMs being paid by the user indirectly who uses the VPN. So it's not going to skyrocket the actual cost of accessing the mixnet via the NIM VPN.
All right, I think that's all we had time for. If we want to finish, if you want to finish on time, so I would like to. Sorry, go ahead, Hux. Do you see something that you want to answer?
Yeah. Can I go back to the NIM and NIX difference, because I think I forgot to mention that basically currently the NIX token only serves as a governance token for NIX chain validators, and the NIM token is the live token traded on markets, and that serves as the real utility token for the mixnet ecosystem.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks for the amazing questions, guys, and also thanks for the amazing session, Hux. And you were about to say something, Clemence, and I cut you off.
No, just thank you, Hux, for the little bit of more information about that.
All right. So with that, we're moving on to the usual outro part where you will learn your secret phrase. Give me 1 second. Can you please share my screen, Salazar? All right, so the secret phrase for today, which I managed to say finally, secret phrase for today, first try, is Mana Hands, which you can use to unlock your POAP for this session. And as it is becoming a tradition here in Shipyard, I always ask our presenter what the meaning of this term is and why it is so important in relation to the presentation. So Hux, what's the meaning of this?
Yeah, so why we choose Mana Hands, and why also the group, the unofficial group's name is Mana Hands, because there's this crypto slang when we say diamond hands for those who hold on strongly to their tokens, but I kind of find that cringe a little bit. Whereas Mana is whoever played any video game ever knows that mana is what you need to cast spells, and mana is this sort of mystical substance what really makes the magic work. And that's why we chose a mana hand for the secret phase for today's POAP, because that's also making the magic of the mixed network is mana. And I don't know, it made sense in my head. I hope it makes sense for people, but at least it's not diamond hands.
I think it makes sense, and it's also, I have to say, it's a very Hux answer and also a very Hux phrase. So we're going with it. Maybe also let's mention once again the group that you're creating for high quality price related information.
Yes. So join the Mana Hands unofficial group now. Please put a link in the chat, and I'm going to be sharing this link, and come over and let's discuss some more token stuff unofficially.
Exactly. Hopefully a link to the Telegram group was dropped in the chat. All right. So moving on, as always, this is how you can claim your POAP. So go to the nymtech.net/go/POAP URL and enter with the same spelling. So mana-hands. Enter this this password as the secret phrase to claim your POAP for today. But hurry up, because it's only available for the next 15 minutes. Now, moving on to the next steps to participate in Shipyard. Like we said, welcome to level 2. This is the level for the nitty gritty. This is where you're becoming a privacy pro. Make sure to do the reading, which you know by now. So on the Shipyard announcements Discord channel, the reading list for this lecture will be shared. Make sure to read that. Also, keep an eye out for the level 1 leaderboard, which will be coming out later today. And also, if you earn any rewards during level 1, then keep an eye on your inbox, because you will be receiving some claiming info via email to the email address that you provided during sign up. Now, one of the important things that I wanted to mention once again, which Clémence already mentioned during the practical part of this of our intro, is that some people did not complete the registration process, which means that they did not fill out the Discord form that we provided to connect your Discord account to your email address, and we don't know where to send the reward-related emails to those people. So basically, please keep a close eye on the leaderboard. Some people asked about this in the chat during the lecture as well. All you need to do is keep a close eye on the leaderboard. These users will be highlighted in red, and will need to raise a ticket and provide their email address before the provided deadline to provide their email, and then everything can go smoothly. And of course, the next masterclass will be by Palmflake, a community OG and contributor, and Sarinko on Thursday, same time, same channel. See you all there. Thanks again for the lovely presentation, Hux. It was really something. A lot of info condensed into one consumable package. So huge thanks for that.
Thanks for having me.
And also big thanks for co-hosting with me, Clémence.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
Have a lovely evening, everybody, and see you on Thursday. Bye.
Ciao.
See you.